Well, that should be interesting. Hopefully, we're live on Rumble. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody. It just showed up when I refreshed.
That's weird. It just wasn't showing up beforehand like it normally does. I told you I had everything set, right? I don't
Yeah,
fucking
it's not
know.
live, though. It says it's waiting for encoding server now.
Huh, weird. But they did change stuff over there. I don't know if you've been to Rumble today, but they moved everything from the right side to the left side.
I know, it confused me. I'm like, what are you doing? I
My
have to
brain
look to
rejected
another
that
side.
shit. And they did change some things around, so I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. We're trying to be live on Rumble is the point. And
Hi, everybody.
unskippable ads. They have unskippable ads on my streams now.
Oh.
That sounds like YouTube, honestly. Anyway, hi guys.
Just refresh.
Hope you're well. Hope everything's going well for you. It's starting out well for us here. Jesus, man. I just want to stream.
I just want to do stuff.
I don't want to get into a whole bunch of shit. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Anyway, Jack, how you been today, my friend?
You know, same old, same old. Hi, everybody. Hi, Tina. Hi, Stargazer.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on over there. I tried, guys. We tried to get it up on Rumble tonight. We had a Biden moment on Rumble, I guess.
Yeah, well, Rumble's having a Biden moment. It's not us.
No, it's not us. Not my fault. I tried. Anyway, so we're here on YouTube where apparently you're not allowed to have discussions even anymore.
No.
Saw a great thing from them today where they were answering somebody who was upset at a 5-year-old video getting taken down. So there's a 5-year-old video, which, by the way, that predates the pandemic. So when we talk about this, keep that in mind. They had a live stream, not YouTube, this channel I've never heard of and don't really care about. And in it, they were arguing with people about vaccination. Now, the person who hosted the live stream was arguing on the side of vaccines. They're for vaccines. And again, we're not talking about COVID here. We're talking about, Bobby Kennedy vaccine kind of stuff. And so this person is on the side of the vaccines. And YouTube took them down for spreading misinformation because the person they argued with was against vaccines.
Wow. Well, open and honest forum of debate and intellectual. You're not allowed to have that.
Yeah, they took it down over their medical misinformation policy. Oh, wait, never mind. I do know who this is. This is a new person that I've just recently been exposed to, Steve McRae.
That sounds like a fake name.
No, it's a real dude. He's got a show here on YouTube. And honestly, I'm shocked that I found him as late as I did. I forget who in a discussion I was having on Twitter. He sounds very much up our alley, Jack.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Right now, me and him are arguing with a moron over, cutting off the breasts of 12-year-old girls.
Oh.
Some doctor said that if you question, lobbing off the titties of 12-year-olds, well, then you just don't believe in transgenderism and dysphoria. You ignore the medical science of transgenderism and gender dysphoria. To which I ask the question, what other mental disorder do you treat with amputation? Anyone? And of course, one of the morons answered, "Do you have a medical degree?" So don't ask questions, you guys, because if you don't have a medical degree, you should just do what doctors say. So, ladies, when he's got that speculum down there and he says he has to get a different measurement using a special instrument, you just lay there and you take it.
Yeah, especially if you hear a zipper.
If you don't have a medical degree, whatever the doctor says is correct. So that time that I went to 3 doctors and they misdiagnosed pneumonia, Turns out I didn't have pneumonia until afterwards, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah. So it's just insane to me that people try to use that argument. Do you have a degree? And I've been running into this shit for a long time because I argue against global warming. Do you have a science degree? No, but I'm not retarded. I can read. And more importantly, think. It's amazing. There is no.
I've
Jack,
heard you read. You don't want to use that argument.
you've heard me read out loud. And I've always
fair
admitted
point.
I have a problem reading out loud. Imagine this, Jack, and this is an example I just used. Imagine a patient is hearing voices that aren't there. Their ears check out, they're perfectly fine, so it's all in their head. And the doctor says, I know, let's cut off your ears. That'll make it all better. Anybody think this is okay? Black Dynamite, thank you. Hey, Monk, are you Team Drake or Team Kendrick Lamar? I'm not team either in that. I think the Drake has some questionable stuff that he said. And I don't know where that is all leading. But some of the stuff he said and done is kind of sus. But as I said when we discussed this the other day, I think it's 2 streams back now. Just because something is sus doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. But somebody should really be like, hey, Drake, could you stop texting 11 and 14-year-old girls? Just stop. But anyway.
I don't care about either of those people.
There are some doctors who are morons. That is true. And there was a time for psychological disorders. You know what they did? They took out huge chunks of your fucking brain. We called them lobotomies, Jack. And they were done for psychological reasons. And they amputated part of the fucking brain and left these people drooling fucking idiots.
Lobotomy, the precursor to gender dysphoria fixes.
Is it wrong?
No, it's what they did to people. They used to put people in mental institutions for chronic masturbation.
Yep.
If you were a horny 15-year-old, you better hide that shit well.
Got a message over on Rumble. Rumble's not working. I see that. Sorry about that. Anyway, I've run into so many dumb people today. And our first story is actually going to be about that because dear God, I hate people like this. Okay, we're going to start with a video. We're going to turn that down some. This is a video that kicked off a huge conversation today, Jack. And we'll discuss it after we watch it all. We are on the AT&T, so it might be choppy. All you have to know is that the idiot with the headlights on is going to drive very badly.
Some drivers are so entitled and impatient that they will road rage with others on the highway. This Honda SUV driver wants the camera to go faster, who was already going 10 over, and flick their lights on and off at the camera. That's not even the worst part, though.
See how close that motherfucker is right there? Swerved over in front of them this close because they wanted to be in the passing lane. We'll get to the passing lane in a minute. This is Kyle. Thank you. Does surgery make them feel better mentally? Sure. The same way surgery does with someone who has body integrity identity disorder. It makes them, there's no even way to test this properly because it could just be that it's been built up into their mind that this is what's going to, it's a placebo effect. This is going to cure me. And so it happens like, oh my God, I'm cured. Meanwhile, they still suffer from all of the other underlying psychological issues that led them to this place. Depression, memories of being touched by their uncle, things like that. Anyway, so go ahead.
Hey, real quick. Thank you, Vault Potato. By that logic, that you need a degree to even question, we should be respecting the opinions of Dr. Mengele.
True.
I mean, he's a doctor. He must know better than us. That's true. And same with the doctors of Unit 731. And thank you, Devil Fruit Zero. Jack, thank goodness you're here. I need your opinion. Is the worm in RFK's brain going to be president one day? Yes, possibly. It depends. His name is Mr. Mind. But thankfully, Captain Marvel has been able to protect us from Mr. Mind for some time. So I think it's a possibility, but as long as Billy Batson's around, we're safe.
All righty then. All right. So we're talking about people in the fast lane.
This jerk then aggressively cuts off the camera.
All right, so this leads to a whole bunch of arguments, and one guy who annoyed me, he said they're not all they're asking you to do, they're not being aggressive. They're asking you to obey the law. They're asking you to obey the law. All right. Did y'all catch the part where it said both of these are that the driver, the person that's filming this, is already going 10 miles over the speed limit?
Yes. Also, Rumble appears to be fixed now.
Oh, cool. I don't know what happened because I did nothing.
Obviously, you did something.
This leads to an argument with me and this idiot because I don't care about that. I have a brother who drives in the left lane constantly. It drives me insane. He barely does the speed limit. And when I say barely, sometimes he's under the speed limit, but he refuses to get out of the left lane. And I mock him endlessly if I have to drive with him. Like, dude, get the fuck over. Because it's a safety issue. If somebody's coming up fast, most people are going to the left because it's what we've all been taught to do. Get out of the fucking passing lane.
Well, it's not the passing lane in every state is the problem.
Even if it was, you don't get to go, hey, it's the law when you don't care about the guy who's speeding.
Well, look, hypocrisy on the internet? What? Also, he used grammar incorrectly because he corrected Evolved Potato with your. He tried to say that Evolve's correct use of YOUR was actually supposed to be YOU''RE, and that made no goddamn sense and it really pissed me off. Sorry.
Yeah, so no, that's all right. So that argument happened. I just, if you guys want to go see it, there's tons of it over on Twitter to check out.
Oh, dude, I don't know how you put up with that shit. That thing went on for a while, and I'm like, this guy's fucking like. At first, I just thought he was like incorrect, you know, like okay, he just doesn't know that the laws vary. And then he pointed out the speed limit thing, and I was like, that's a really good point. And then he kept going, and then he called you a fascist.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Where's the rest of the video? Rest of what video? That was as much of the video as there was. It's just a guy who's blinking his lights, running right up on somebody, and then goes over and then cuts them off. I've seen that in real life. Me and Lady Monkey were going somewhere, and we were, where were we? I want to say down by Grand Rapids, and there's a couple of parts of Grand Rapids where the different highways merge that can be, let's call them, dangerous.
Yeah.
And there's one black lady who's driving in the far left lane. This other black lady pulls up on her. That their black ladies has nothing to do with the story other than I was not driving, so I could watch the whole thing. So these two ladies are driving, and the one that's in front brake checks the bitch who's flashing her lights and riding her ass in the left lane, which almost leads to an accident. So the lady in the back goes around her on the right. By the way, passing on the right is, but the passing lane on the left, passing on the right becomes illegal in almost every state. Passes on the right and does exactly what we saw that SUV do, and almost hits her, which leads to a chase. And that's the last we saw because the two of them just take off like hell. In my imagination, they caught up to each other and beat the fuck out of one another, which they both deserved. One, get out of the fucking passing lane if you're not the fastest car or passing. 2, don't ride up on somebody's ass. 3, brake checking is a good way to kill people.
Yeah.
And 4, don't cut people off like that. Calm down in your cars. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Look, sometimes you're wrong, you know, and you shouldn't be in that big of a hurry.
I imagine what these people would have been like back in like the old West when getting to town 20 miles away would take all day. Like if they came up on another person on a horse, would they just start screaming at them for not going faster?
Probably.
Do you guys realize
people get really obsessive about that?
How nice we have it that we can get places as fast as we do. And maybe if you're in that much of a hurry, you should leave sooner.
That's crazy talk, monkey.
The place I run into at work is driving in the snow.
Oh, yeah.
There's times you just have to drive in really nasty weather. And there's always some fucking tard who's like, I got to go 90.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we come from dangerous states, you know, because we do have to deal with the snow. A lot of people that aren't used to it will be going like 65, 70 when they really shouldn't be. And then you'll see them like on the side of the road a few miles later and they look all mystified and angry.
Evolve said he called me a fascist, and I called him a commie, and then he said that I was name calling, which he did start. Seriously, it's a fascinating argument to watch. There's not much to it. It's just a dummy. But it is amazing to me. I've told this story before when I was on the Bill Maher boards, and this guy said he'll get in the passing lane and go just 10 over. And nobody should be allowed to pass him because he's already speeding. And I asked him, like, well, why do you get to be the one who decides how much to break the law?
Yeah. It's weird hill to die on.
Yeah, well, that's what this guy's doing. Hey, it's illegal to drive in the passing lane. It's illegal to speed, dickhead.
But that's okay because that's the rule they want to break.
If you were going to go strictly by the law, the only reason you should ever have to pass somebody is if they're going under the speed limit. That should be the only time you're ever in that passing lane, Jack.
Yeah,
right?
They're going like a noticeably different thing and affecting the flow of traffic. You're supposed to be able to pass them on the left and speed up to the speed limit. You're not supposed to go over the speed limit.
Not supposed to go over it. And in most states, they don't post it, but there is an under that you're not allowed to hit.
Yeah. And in my state, it's 45 on the interstate or the freeway.
Most places that I know of, and again, it's not like I've done major research, it's 15 under whatever the posted speed limit is.
Yeah.
So here, that could be 60 miles an hour still. Because there's parts of our freeway that are 75.
Yeah, but I think unofficially it's 90.
I tend to do 4.5 over the speed limit so that I don't get stopped for speeding.
Yeah, you really don't want to go 5 over or more than 5 over because then they're definitely going to get you. And I don't speed simply because I can't afford a ticket.
Fair enough. Exactly. That's the only speeding ticket I ever got. And that lady was very nice. She didn't write me up for reckless driving. I was doing 75 and a 55. And,
they'll hit you on that one.
The cop came up. Do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, yeah, I was doing 75. I know you're not supposed to say that, but it worked out in my favor because she's like, you know what? Since you were honest, I'm not going to write you up for the reckless driving charge. We'll just give you a regular speeding ticket.
Yeah. Pro tip: if you're in Ohio and do that, and it's a state highway patrolman, you're getting a ticket either way. So just deny it.
I mean, I got it, but I could have got the. I'll take not getting the reckless driving charge. But yeah, ever since then, I am very careful about my speed because I don't want to hear my wife yell at me about getting a speeding ticket.
Yeah, speeding tickets are fucking expensive, and they're trying to fucking DeWine, man. I fucking hate our governor. He is he is pushing to make not wearing a seatbelt a primary offense, so they can pull you over for that. No, that's bullshit. That's a secondary offense. Fuck yourself,
Not
Des Moines.
here.
You sack of shit.
Here it is a primary offense.
Yeah, that's a fucking stupid bullshit rule, because they could be like, oh, well, you didn't have your seatbelt on, and you can't prove you did unless you got a camera pointed at you, which is pretty unlikely.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in that argument and want to see the kind of people I run into on Twitter all day, today was an excellent example of it. It was just insane.
I find it amazing how many of these people you seem to encounter, because obviously you didn't find this guy.
Well, I kind of did, because I saw his comment to that video, and I responded to him. But most people are smart enough to, oh yeah, you're right. They were speeding. So the law issue, the reason for it isn't because it's illegal. It's just safer to have a lane where if somebody is going too slow, that somebody can get around them. Yeah. It's a safety issue. But no, he's got to go with the legal issue. And if you do that, again, I'm on the side of people getting out of the left-hand lane, but not because of the legal issue.
Well, I mean, we're talking about 3-lane highways anyway. That's where this generally applies.
Well, I mean, I hear you. I see it on 2-lane highways a lot too. But either way, I mean, your argument can't be the legality of it if you're okay with some of the illegality of it. And then to call me a fascist and say, because he actually said this to me, he said, you're not the one who gets to make the rules about the left-hand lane. I'm like, I know, but apparently you are. He's the one that starts by saying you can't drive in that lane because it's against the law, but I'm fascist for pointing out the other laws.
There are other laws, Monkey. There is the law of the road.
All right. I do want to
lane passing, other things irrelevant.
I do want to get away from this because we're going to read a bit of this article today because this one pissed me off.
Oh boy.
And I want to make sure I get this in. But yeah, check that out on Twitter if you guys want to see that shit. Donald Trump, killer of customs. Dun, dun, dun.
I love that picture. It looks like he's doing the ET. Ouch. It's the hugest cut ever on Elliot's finger.
Yes. All right. The former and possibly future president is forcing us to write down the unwritten rules. Is he? Is he? Or are they using the law to force his hand? Well, let's find out, shall we? Etiquette is a pact, writes New York Times critic Wesley Morris in the brilliant recent reflections on the show Curb Your Enthusiasm. All right, I know a lot of people love the show Curb Your Enthusiasm. I found it to be highly annoying. I'm just throwing that out there right now. I judge people who point to that as anything other than lame Seinfeld. I get it. There's parts of it that are funny. But most of it is people repeating themselves. Most of it is a parody of Jerry Seinfeld.
Well, he used to be a writer on Seinfeld. That's why.
Yeah, Larry David. I mean, that's why it's that way, because it's Larry David's sense of humor.
Yeah.
Anyway, in a functional society, it is also an offering of goodness, decency, forbearance, and respect. A flavor of the social contract, in which we all pay a small personal freedom tax so that everyone feels accommodated. Stop. Okay. I got to address that shit first, okay? It used to be, if you want to talk about, forcing us to write down unwritten rules, that when you were in public, you minded your own fucking business unless it actually had something to do with you. Like not yelling at people for no reason, or getting involved because a guy's wearing a shirt you don't like, or taking over campuses because you support terrorism.
But these are things that make me angry, so everybody else has to capitulate, right? That's how this works now?
This notion that everyone has to feel accommodated. How dare you talk about Trump breaking the unwritten rules when we didn't used to have to do this shit? You minded your own fucking business. I wasn't there to accommodate you. Anyway.
If you're not accommodating me, you're a bigot, monkey.
Look, I do believe in some social norms, right? Like here at Chuck E. Cheese, you probably shouldn't be dropping F-bombs left and right. But there's a difference
between like decorum and etiquette versus like, you know, that's more of a societal thing. It's not a rule per se. It's just good behavior around others. It's respect.
Yeah, and if you're there at Chuck E. Cheese and somebody's like, fuck this, fuck that, and you're like, dude, there's kids around, do you mind? That is traditionally the kind of stuff you would see. Mm-hmm. Now, you have people losing their fucking shit because somebody's wearing a Trump hat in a bar.
Yeah.
I am not there to accommodate you. You have people losing their shit because a waiter uses the proper English pronouns.
Oh, that son of a bitch monster. What kind of a world do we live in? Like, share, and subscribe.
This social contract involves all the things we do, not because a law or rule directs us, but because these behaviors are necessary for society to function. Call them courtesy or norms or etiquette or customs or mores. They are the unwritten rules that lubricate the political and social machine, allowing people of different opinions, backgrounds, and incentives to coexist. In theory, he's right. Because we do have these things, you know, like typically you're not running through the local grocery store chanting cunt because that people be like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? But what we're getting at is not that. And frankly, like I was saying, with the latest social mores, they are way more intrusive than just minding your own fucking business, which is what the mores used to be. Unless, as Faithless pointed out, so there was an actual criminal thing going on, then we got involved. As Morris notes, the genius of Curb Your Enthusiasm is Larry David's curmudgeonly ability to dismantle and examine our ideas of etiquette. Why do we tip? How many buttons are you allowed to push in an elevator? Should you pick up a prostitute in order to use the carpool lane? I'm not really sure what he was going for with this. Because if you get in an elevator and the jackass in there has hit all 15 buttons, that guy's. I'm not saying you should do anything violent, but if you raise your voice at him, I would understand. Because that is a douchey thing to do.
Yeah, he's just being an asshole.
But that's not what we're talking about.
No, but if somebody's going to do that level of assholesness, you do something back to them is not. I think that's almost acceptable then. Like you just stand right next to them and stare at them and mutter to yourself silently. You know, like, oh, I gotta pee, I gotta pee, I gotta pee, gotta pee.
Is a prostitute less than the fine for using the carpool lane? I don't know. I've never been fined for using it. And Faithless, yes, one norm is that we don't maliciously prosecute a former president to steal an election. Now, yeah, you should hang on to that thought.
Yeah,
hang on to that thought because
I get they're trying to be cutesy with this. The comparison to Curb Your Enthusiasm, where they're doing situational jokes, I don't really get how that applies here yet. So is this going to relate back somehow?
No. That is just to lay the foundation that there's things we do and we don't do. This way everybody understands. Oh yeah. Of course there's things we don't do in public. Sure.
Oh, he's just using it as a cultural reference point. Okay, gotcha.
It's to draw in the audience and get them to personalize the bullshit he's about to say. But as we've seen in the last few years, our government breaks down when politicians ignore the unwritten rules. Much of elections and lawmaking is based on tradition and customs. Yet the government can't rely on the honor system when many of our leaders are so thoroughly dishonorable. Now, at this point, you might think, hey, he's going to point to what Faithless said about not maliciously prosecuting a former president, but you'd be wrong, because that would fit here. That dishonor has now landed former President Donald Trump at the center of a case before the Supreme Court. The justices must figure out when a president can be held criminally liable for actions that took place during his presidency. Well, whose fault is that? Is that Trump's fault because he did something against the rules or even the unwritten rules? Because remember, the case before the Supreme Court right now is over the election and that really ridiculous case where Donald Trump tweeted stuff that's proof of his crime. He tweeted that he was watching a news segment. It's important to keep that in mind, that that's what we're talking about, because
it's so sad.
It's fucking stupid. How the fuck do you turn Donald Trump into the bad guy there?
I don't know.
Thank you, Snubbert. Is this at the Supreme Court? I thought it was in New York. No, there's several cases going on. This is the Jack Smith case. This is the federal case where they're saying that he violated people's civil rights in trying to overturn the election because, he did things like tweet that he was watching a fucking news segment. Was it 2 or 3 different times in there that Donald Trump tweeted this?
Oh, it was at least 3, probably more.
Yeah. So no, he is right about this one being at the Supreme Court. The two extreme positions, that a president is completely legally immune from all action he takes during his time in office, or that all of his actions are subject to criminal review, are equally absurd. I agree. I 100% agree. I do not think they are completely above the law. Why did this ad just pop up like that? Get that fuck off my screen. I don't agree with the Trump side of this, where it's like anything he does is legal, because no, it shouldn't be. I mean, if he murders somebody as president, then yeah, he should go to jail. Oh man, Obama. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe the extrajudicial killing of a terrorist, Jack, but who was an American citizen, maybe we shouldn't throw Obama in jail for that. It's certainly something to discuss. Can we just talk about that for a second? Barack Obama murdered an American citizen as president. Anybody remember his trial?
Nope.
Anyone? No. Because we did understand that, look, even if you agree that he murdered an American, which I do, Jack, the president sometimes has to make decisions. And if he had strangled him with his bare hands, that's a different thing than we know he's there, we're going to bomb it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in all fairness, it was not in the country. It was on foreign soil.
And he was hanging out with terrorists, and he was a terrorist piece of shit. But the simple fact is, if you use what they're trying to do to Donald Trump, Barack Obama should have been tried for murder.
Yep.
The president does not have the authority to murder an American like that. But he did it. And we give him a pass for it legally because he was president at the time that he did it, and it was done within the confines of the job. On the other hand, the other side is basically arguing that he should have been brought up on murder charges. Oddly enough, nobody's doing it. It's not like there's a statute of limitations on murder. It's the one crime universally that there's no statute of limitations on.
Well, maybe Trump will work on that next go round.
Yeah. So if you're going to do this to Trump, then by definition, which is worse, him giving a speech that you claim caused, Congress to delay for a couple of hours, or the actual murder of an American citizen?
A minority,
Anyone?
no less.
Yeah. But no. Some of the people at National Review really hate Trump.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Where were we? So the court must now decide where the line is drawn. Because of Trump's unwillingness to accept or lack of knowledge of the traditional concepts of the peaceful transfer of power, the justices must now write down the unwritten rules. Is it because of Trump, or is it because people went after him for things that he did? Which, by the way, I will remind you, nobody has ever shown that Donald Trump does not fully believe that that election was stolen. You have tons of people who have come out and go, I told him that he was wrong. Not one has said, and he agreed with me. Not a single one. Therefore,
no, because he still says it.
Yeah, and as president, his job is to protect the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic. It was literally his job to be trying to get the thing overturned if he believes he was cheated there, if he believes that the election was wrong. And I'm not taking the stance on that because we're on YouTube and it is an election year. So, but his position on this has been very clear. His job at that point, Jack, was to call it out at the very least.
Yeah.
And yes, that's the other part, Bubba. The transition was peaceful. Trump wasn't drug out of the White House. They didn't have to call in the National Guard to get him out of there. The violence that they always try to point to is January 6th. He made January 6th. That it wasn't the peaceful transfer of power. That we know of. That we can actually point to. There's two people who died that day, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
One was shot in cold blood, and the other one, the police kind of let her die.
Yeah.
There was some violence, of course there was, but that did not stop the peaceful transfer of power. If I remember correctly, Congress went and hid for a little bit and came back and voted that night. Or accepted the results that night.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours, wasn't it? Total.
I want to say 4. Because I know it was all wrapped up by 8 p.m. that night. Or they'd reconvene by 8 p.m. that night. And it starts at like 2. So maybe it was 6 hours total. And remember, some of that is not because they were still clearing the building. It's them getting their shit together to go back in there and restart.
Yeah.
He didn't allow for the peaceful transfer of power. Yeah, he did. And pointing to January 6th doesn't change that. Muggy, you forget AOC. Yeah, I know she died a whole bunch of times that day, but otherwise it was a pretty peaceful day. Worst day in American history, or so I'm told. I know, right? It's worse than when the South tried to come in and people burned down the White House and don't pay attention to the fact that we were doing that same year.
Or the Puerto Ricans came in and actually shot people.
Yeah, no. Don't pay any attention to that. During the April 25th hearing on Trump's immunity case, several of the justices acknowledged that there's a line between official and unofficial acts. And this is, kind of where the Hatch Act comes into effect. Because the Hatch Act basically gives the president blanket immunity from the Hatch Act. The Hatch Act guy says that if you are a government employee, you can't be doing any campaigning while you're on the government dime. So like if you're a postman and you're out on your route and you're found to be campaigning for Barack Obama or Donald Trump, you're in violation of the Hatch Act. The president and vice president have blanket immunity from that because they are always on the job. And this is where the argument for personal versus official job stuff comes from, basically, is the idea that we know the president is president 24/7. It's not like at 8 o'clock he gets to knock off and like, all right, fuck it, I'm not president until 8 p.m. tomorrow. So we do make some exceptions for some of the stuff that they do. Where are we? But they are going to struggle to figure out where that line is. Previously, we never needed written guidelines on how to handle a president who tried for months to overturn a popular election or who attempted to shake down a foreign leader for dirt on a political opponent. But now we do.
Yeah.
See what he did there, though? In both of those cases, who does he blame? He blames Trump. But in both of those cases, trying to overturn a popular election, he's allowed to question anything he wants to. Joe Biden could come out tomorrow and say every election that's ever happened in the United States, all the way back to Washington, was wrong, was fake, and it would not be illegal for him to do so. Trump questioning the validity of the election is not a crime. And you'll notice he's not charged with that anywhere. He's not charged with trying to overturn the election. Keep that in mind when you read all these pieces about this nonsense or watch these talking heads tell you he tried to overturn the election. How come nobody's charged him with that? How come he hasn't been charged with treason? Anyhow, as for the other one, to shake down a foreign leader for dirt on a political opponent, one, we already know that Joe Biden has maybe not shook him down for dirt on a political opponent, but certainly shook him down to, well, I guess it was a political opponent because it was they were targeting his son. What we heard from the Vindman nonsense, and let's just call it what it is, you couldn't point to an actual crime there. But anyway, but we do now. America's founding fathers anticipated that scoundrels might one day occupy the presidency. James Madison acknowledged in Federalist 10 that enlightened statesmen will not always be at the helm, but the constitutional checks on errant presidents' actions, congressional and judicial oversight, impeachment, deal primarily with their public acts. And if the president was truly terrible, voters would vote him out next time, right? Yeah. That's what Madison and many of the people who, back things like impeachment existing were getting at. That you don't use the judicial branch to go after the fucking president because you didn't like what he said.
What?
But the Trump case falls through the cracks between all those checks. The election was already held and Trump lost, but he was trying to overturn it. Well, if you really wanted to hold him in, to impeach him, you should have let him get into office then, right? And impeachment was difficult because it was within 2 weeks of Joe Biden's inauguration. Impeachment was difficult because you can't prove Donald Trump caused that crowd. By every, we actually have laws on incitement, Jack, all the way up to the Supreme Court, which says that in order for incitement to apply based on the words that you used, it has to be an imminent threat of it happening, a logical imminent threat that this is probably going to happen. Like if you say, burn this fucker down, and everybody burns the fucker down, and everybody was already holding pitchforks at the time with their torches lit, and they're outside of a wooden barn. Okay, yeah, you probably caused them to burn that down. But if that same sentence is said and you're sitting in the middle of a fucking Wendy's on a Thursday afternoon and you're the only person in there and you yell, burn this fucker down, you might get hit for a threat to the business, Jack, but you can't get hit for incitement on that. Even if later that day somebody burns the fucker down, because there's nothing to point to show that there was an actual issue with saying those things.
Yeah, it wasn't an imminent threat.
Wasn't an imminent threat. And considering the riot happens before Trump even takes the stage or finishes and gets the important parts out, the fact that no other riot had happened, the fact that they hadn't already taken over Congress, despite all that he said. If you look at the right-wing protests that have been going on, they hadn't been turning violent. There's no reason to believe any of this shit was actually going to cause violence. Anyhow, I just hate these fucking assholes who pretend that they're telling you the truth. And look, there was nothing could be done. There was only 2 weeks left, and then he incited. There was no way to hold him accountable. Well, there was no way to hold him accountable because they tried. Remember, they did impeach him for that. It was the second impeachment. I don't understand the argument of there just wasn't time. There wasn't time because you didn't have anything. They tried. Jamie Raskin got up there and did his damn best to make a fool of himself.
He's really good at it too.
He is too, yeah. Where are we? Not to mention that some of the senators voting on his impeachment were actually complicit at January 6th. So they like to point to Josh Hawley because he waved at protesters when he went into the house or into the Capitol building that day.
Clearly a dog whistle.
Yeah, he gave him a power fist. So they were effectively voting on their own guilt or innocence in the final impeachment trial. Well, which is it? Is it you couldn't do it because it was 2 weeks, or did they give themselves a pass because they were complicit in the impeachment trial? So now all the unwritten things we have normally chalked up to tradition, the peaceful transfer of power, the idea that vice presidents can't decline to count state electors, respect for law enforcement and the court system, etc., are no longer taken for granted. Because of one sore loser, they now have to be spelled out by an unelected court rather than by the lawmaking branch. And given the Supreme Court's inability to see into the future, that is going to be almost impossible to do. I can't tell you how much I hate whoever wrote this. He then goes on to describe an SNL Dana Carvey sketch.
Oh God, why?
Yeah, to show that you can never guess what's going to happen. And he says that, you can't give him blanket immunity because then you're giving blanket immunity to Biden. Again, doesn't bring up Barack Obama killing an American citizen, causing American citizens to be killed in the Fast and Furious bullshit. He doesn't bring up any of that.
No,
things that are, I'm sorry, quite clearly worse than even if you do believe Donald Trump caused the riot on January 6th. He doesn't bring up any. Instead, it's like, this could happen. If you give Trump a pass here, let me throw that into chat if anybody wants to read the rest of that garbage. But if you give him a pass, then Biden's going to get a pass. Biden was already going to get a pass because nobody's going to go after him the way that they're going after Trump.
Yeah, and he's got dementia.
Why won't this let me? There we go. I went to share the link on Rumble and it popped up a thing asking me to become a member of my own channel. How about I give myself $5 so that Rumble can take a little bit of that? That's good business right there.
That is. It's pretty smart.
I mean, for them it is. Yeah, I'm just annoyed at this nonsense. Again, I am not a giant Trump supporter. But what they're doing to him is clearly bullshit. And then to blame him because these unwritten rules have to be written down. The unwritten rule is you don't go after the fucking ex-president. How many times have we been told that it's unprecedented? The first time ever that an ex-president has been hit with criminal charges. And you have the fucking balls to come up here and blame Trump for the unprecedented nature of it? God, man.
Yeah, those things clank when that dude walks.
Jesus. All right. I don't have much more to say about that other than even your right-wing press, guys. National Review is right-wing press. Even they cannot be trusted because they are full of shit too. They all have an agenda.
Yeah. To be fair, they are rhinos.
Yep. Anyway, let's move along. Did you see that shooting of the Air Force guy?
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up.
Fuck. Okaloosa County Sheriff. I'm guessing that's in Oklahoma. Sounds like it. I have no idea where this happened.
See that in Florida.
You're right. It is Florida. I did see a Florida sheriff. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office releases body cam footage of one of its officers shooting and killing a U.S. Air Force Senior Airman Roger Fortson. Now, look, there's a lot of times we see these, and we're not putting this on the screen because somebody gets shot and killed in it. There's a lot of the times we see this where we defend the police, Jack.
Yep.
This ain't one of them.
Nope.
So what happens is this cop is called to the scene, and we can put the picture on the screen so people have something to look at. This young man is in his apartment minding his own business as his police officers called to the scene for a, I'm using air quotes, disturbance. After talking to some people, he's directed to a specific apartment, which happens to be the wrong fucking one.
Yeah. It was a very vague call to begin with.
Police officer knocks on the door, and Mr. Fortson here opens the door, and in his right hand, he has a pistol down at his side, which he never moves up in any manner.
Nope.
And the cop immediately kills him.
Yeah, shoots several times, then says, back up.
And drop the gun.
Yeah.
After the guy falls on the fucking ground, he's like, drop the gun!
Yeah, when the cop knocked on the door, he did what a lot of times cops do, which is take a step to the side. And only after like the third knock did he even say that he was with the police department. So obviously the guy's kind of suspicious, as I would be, but you don't just because somebody answered the door with a gun doesn't mean you're gonna shoot him.
Nope.
He wasn't posing a threat. The gun was down by his side, and it wasn't even the right apartment.
It is perfectly legal to answer the door, even to a cop, with a gun in your hand.
Yeah. If it is a cop, you're probably getting shot, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a good idea, but it is legal. And what this cop did here is just straight up murder.
And he's got qualified immunity. That's what they're going to say.
I don't know. I don't think this guy's getting off on this one.
I hope not, because this was really bad.
Yeah, if I had seen this guy, and I watched repeatedly, if I'd seen him move his arm up at all, I give the cop the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. But the kid did nothing wrong.
Nope.
He was FaceTiming with his lady friend. I don't know if it was his girlfriend or just a friend. And they released that footage. The family did. And that's when the cops released the body cam footage, because they had it until that happened. Because a lot of times, we investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing.
Yep. This guy, this poor bastard, may he rest in peace, did nothing wrong here. And the fact that cop opened fire like that, just because the guy was holding a gun. Just holding a gun is not enough. And we've been over this so many times, Jack, where it's like he moved his hand in a way that worried the cop. This dude's arm doesn't move.
He didn't have time.
No.
He literally opens the door and gets shot. There was no time for him to react. Look, the guy probably would have put the gun down if he had been asked to.
Yeah.
But it's probably a pretty sketch neighborhood too. But
I've seen some people. The cop announced that he was a cop, and that's the police's thing too. That doesn't matter. You can't shoot a guy for holding a gun.
Yeah, a lot of times criminals will knock on your door and say, "Police, open up." It's not an unknown home invasion tactic. So yeah, and he couldn't see. There's no way he could have saw the cop through his peephole. So yeah, I think the cop was in the wrong on this one.
100%. Yeah.
So there's probably going to be a massive civil rights lawsuit. And I think the cops are going to circle the wagons and say they didn't do anything wrong. I think they're going to stick with that. It's been kind of what the chief was doing during the press conference, but I think it's pretty obvious that the gun was pointed down the entire time for the very brief amount of time that it took for this all to happen.
Can I not have my birthday song? I didn't see that it was your birthday. Of course you can, Kevin. Kevin, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Kevin.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. I really, really do. Birthday is my favorite time of year, which is awesome because they're every day, Jack. There are birthdays every day. Unless you're a Jehovah's Witness. All right.
Real quick. Thank you, Frosted Glass. You know the funny thing about the phrase broke an unwritten rule? It's another way of saying didn't break any rules. Yep. You know, you have no case when your best argument is, well, it's just not done.
But that has been what they've hit Trump with ever since he got into office. How many times on Lords of the Night did we read a story about how he was behaving in ways that isn't traditional? He's breaking precedent. Is he breaking laws? No, but he's breaking precedent. That's not a problem then. It's just how we do things. Not anymore.
Hey, we missed Gorak's birthday.
Gorak, this is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gorak. Happy birthday to you. The other day. Sorry we missed it. Happy birthday. I hope you had a great one. I really do. I do not know how I missed this video, Jack. We're going to watch it.
He looks like that puppet of MITAM.
Yes, he does. He really does. James Carville is not aging well.
No, he's turning into an old lesbian.
But he kind of looked like that anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
If they get a hold, there will be no government left. There will be no rights left. You'll live under theocracy.
He's talking about if Republicans win, if they get a hold, there's going to be no government left. You're going to live under a theocracy.
Which would be a type of government.
Oh.
This is such a lazy boomer argument that you always get from these old timers. Oh, they're going to take everything away from you and you're going to live in a Christian nationalist theocracy. It's never happened. Okay, you know why? Because there aren't that many Christian nationalists, you idiots.
It's just amazing to me that they never think these things through. There's going to be no government. There's going to be a theocracy. Think about what you just said. That's all. Just think. But anyway, it gets better, Jack.
Get a hold, there will be no government left. There will be no rights left. You'll live under theocracy. You'll end up with Christian nationalism. But that's all right, you little fucking 26-year-old. You don't feel like the election's important to me. They're not addressing the issues that I care about.
Oh, fuck.
I kind of want to clip that.
Yeah, sorry about the sound too, guys. It's as loud as it goes, but we had to watch this one because fuck. But you don't care about the issues I care about. Oh, fucking James Carville. You know what? Yes, please attack the youth. I think that is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are kind of dumb sometimes. So
just go out there and yell at the protesters. Because, excuse me, This is from late April. I think April 25th is the date this went up. Yeah, go get them, James. You go out there and you tell them how dumb they're being and how they need to vote despite you not. Do you understand that all they've been taught is that their feelings are the most important thing in the world? It's funny watching them have to deal with the shit they've cultivated.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow, dumbass. And you have planted a bunch of douchebags who only care about what they think.
Well, they're selfish little narcissists.
This Stuart Varney clip, I didn't get to watch all of it. Is it worth watching?
I don't know.
Basically, it's about the Justice Department being used to go after Trump. And I'm more interested in your comment on it because you said, I'm glad someone's doing this, but sadly it's going nowhere. And I think we agree on this. And it's people, many, and not just the guy that he had on the show there, but who have started to piece together the nonsense that's going on. And everything Trump was blamed for, he's going to use the Justice Department for his own means. It's literally what's going on with the Biden administration right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is we can all point to it and show it's happening. But you're right. Nothing's going to happen. It's not going to stop.
Yeah. I mean, okay. We all know they're colluding. What are you going to do about it other than some pussy little lawsuit that's going to go nowhere?
Yeah. Look at what Obama did to reporters who questioned him. Nobody had a problem with that at all. It was allowed to happen. Look at, again, Fast and Furious. Look at all of the shit he got away with.
Yep.
We all saw it happening, and he was allowed to. Biden, same thing. Eric Holder got up in front of the Congress, refused to testify, refused to give testimony in the Fast and Furious case. Do you guys remember him getting held in contempt of Congress? Because he was. And it was thrown out by a judge. This man who, under the legal system of the United States, has to answer these questions, was given a pass by the legal system in the United States. A judge threw that out, Jack. It was blatant contempt of Congress. But now contempt of Congress is a thing people need to go to prison for because Donald Trump existed. Anyhow.
That's a given, right?
Yeah. And none of this stuff is going to change because it's allowed to happen. The people who are in charge are the ones who are getting away with it. What are they going to do? Arrest themselves? And the people who are supposed to hold them accountable are on their side.
They're part of the conspiracy.
They are. Our best defense against corruption in government is an actual free press. If for no other reason than just to get corrupt people out of office. But we can't do that because our press is on one side.
Sadly.
I mean, we just read a National Review article that could have been on fucking MSNBC.
Yep.
That goddamn Trump. So yeah, I'm with you. I just don't think anything's going to change. Panera Bread is set to get rid of a lemonade drink they sell, Jack.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Panera to drop charged lemonade after multiple lawsuits. And by multiple lawsuits, there's 3. Their charged lemonade is a lemonade drink that you can get with different flavors added to it that also has a shit ton of caffeine in it.
Yeah.
2 people had heart attacks, and 1 had heart palpitations. And so they're suing them, going, "You guys caused us to die." Or their families.
Did they not read the ingredients list?
Well, the one person in here actually says, they're describing, the family says she would never drink energy drinks, but she drank multiple of these.
Well, that's her own dumbass fault. What do you take a bunch of caffeine pills like you're Jesse on Saved by the Bell? Saved by the Bell reference.
Originally, the drinks were advertised as plant-based, clean, and with as much caffeine as our dark roast coffee. However, a large 20-ounce charged lemonade was listed as having 390 milligrams of caffeine until last year, when it was lowered to 237. Look, as somebody who drinks basically nothing but soda, Jack, this might seem hypocritical, but guys, stop drinking so much caffeine. Mine is metered, Jack. I'm not like pounding a 2-liter every 15 minutes. I see people pounding like Monster and shit and just chugging one after another. I'm like, do you have any idea what that's doing to you?
Right? Oh my God. My heart's, I can feel my blood pressure fluctuating now. Yeah, I see people drink those Monster drinks, like, but chug them like you said, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're gonna die.
In October, the parents of a 21-year-old woman sued Panera, accusing the company of failing to properly warn customers about ingredients in the lemonade.
That's not true. They list that shit.
Oh, but no. You missed the word there. Properly warn. You got to warn them.
Oh, yeah, because everybody's a fucking retard now. I forgot.
Hours after having a charged lemonade in early September, Sarah Katz went into cardiac arrest. She was later pronounced dead at a hospital. In December, the family of 46-year-old Dennis Brown of Fleming Island, Florida, sued Panera over his October death. Brown's family says the man drank 3 of the charged lemonades after finishing a work shift and died while walking home. He drank 3 of these walking home.
What?
Or right after work and then walked home.
What? He probably knew there was caffeine in there. That's his own fault. I'm sorry. I don't feel that bad for these people. It's listed on the ingredients.
Yep. The selling point is the massive amount of caffeine in it.
Yeah, just like Monster drinks and pretty much everything that people sell these days. I mean, it's not like they were sneaking in Mike's Hard Lemonade trying to get you all sexed up, Yeah,
if this dude had ordered 3 lemonades and they gave him 3 charged lemonades, all right, you might have a case of something there. But
yeah, but they're not shy about it.
Brown, who had a chromosomal deficiency disorder, developmental delay, and ADHD, as well as high blood pressure, according to his family, did not drink energy drinks. I feel like he did.
I feel like he needed a handler if he's that fucking incompetent.
He did, however, enjoy lemonade and had ordered a charged lemonade from Panera multiple times before his death, according to the lawsuit. So he'd had it before. You guys knew he'd had it before. And you're letting your you're letting your Downsy off his leash unattended.
Well, he's made his choices. I mean, obviously he liked the stuff. He'd been told about it before. So, you know what? He chose his own path. So, I'm sorry. You can't have a warning label on every goddamn thing that might be bad for you. Pencil might put an eye out. No shit, Sherlock.
It didn't tell me not to jab it into my face.
Yeah, there's no warning about it being in my butthole. Well, it doesn't go there. Should have to warn you about everything.
Brown's cause of death was ruled to be cardiac arrest due to hypertensive disease.
So he had hypertension, though. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
The lawsuit blames the unreasonably dangerous and defective design of Panera's charged lemonade.
Defective design. It worked perfectly. He was defective. Oh, I can't say that shit.
He was. No, you can, because he was. He was hypertensive. That's a defect.
Oh, let's go with the other defect.
I know you were, but you're still right.
I was right by being wrong.
In January, a Rhode Island woman sued the company claiming the charged lemonade left her with long-term heart complications. Laura Scarrett, 28, said she began experiencing episodes of heart palpitations and dizziness after drinking 2.5 charged lemonades last April.
I doubt that was the only factor in her condition change.
I want to see her, honestly. Here's the thing. If you drink that much, you probably, your heart's going to probably start beating really fast.
Yeah, you might have some palpitations,
but then it's going to stop. It's not going to keep going.
Yeah, unless you have some other existing thing that's going to work with it. I bet she's like 500 pounds. Like, the lemonade did it. That's because you're half a ton, blubber butt.
She was later treated for arterial fibrillation, an irregular rapid heartbeat that can cause serious complications.
So she had AFib. That thing did not cause AFib.
Nah, man, it was the lemonade she drank. Can we just say it? Lawyers are a big problem with the world.
Yeah. Well, tort reform really should come back as a thing that needs fixed in this country, because a lot of this stuff is just fucking ludicrous.
It is. Absolutely.
Not every problem you have is caused by somebody else or some drink that you had. Fuck off.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So, the NBA playoffs are going on, Jack.
That's the basketball, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're going to listen to this, but we're going to have to be very quiet because the audience at home is going to have to turn this up. I'm going to pause it after the pertinent part, and I will count in my head to 3. That is your time to turn it back down, because we have to watch this, Jack. This shit is funny as fuck. All right, so I'm going to hit play, but I'm not going to talk again until after I pause it. And this time I mean it, because I do not want to blast anybody's ears out.
Yeah, this is great.
All right, so go ahead and turn it up now.
I think we shared the ball really well. We were knocking down shots. We were open shots. So we just started sharing the ball, and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay.
All right, turn it back down. Yeah, so this guy is giving his post-game interview, and somebody in the press corps is watching porn.
Yeah.
How fucking amazing is that? And his reaction is priceless, man.
Yeah, it takes him a second too. He's like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, shit. I still can't hear it on full. You'll have to, I dropped the link. You'll have to pick it up on Twitter. I'm sure it's all over YouTube and stuff by now, where you can find a place where you can listen to it better. But basically, you just start hearing a woman in the throes of passion, and his face right there is priceless.
What's your response to that video, sir? You should have just played it off like totally legit. Like, what did your response to that clip? She seems to be having a good time. I don't know. It's weird.
He does eventually just kind of put his head down. The stuff stops, and he goes right back into it like a true professional, answering the questions that he's supposed to. So good on him for that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how else you should handle that one. That seems like the best approach.
I would have laughed and had to leave. I would have got up and I can't do this.
He gets up and he's got a total boner. Unrelated, maybe, but still has it.
Yeah. Okay. This is just pure monkey is going to enjoy this kind of stuff. But Keffels is back, Jack. She took a long time off. By her own admission, thought about killing herself. LOL. Her words, not mine. She actually did the LOL after saying that it almost drove her to kill herself. LOL. Yeah, that's a funny joke.
Am I supposed to care either way?
And she's coming back so that she can not be in all the drama and stuff anymore. And she sees a post from Brianna Wu, of all fucking people, where Brianna is making a video apparently about trans activists and how they're hurting the trans community.
Oh.
Which I was shocked by. And Keffels decided to come out and attack Brianna Wu for this. And I hope this blows up, because if any two fucking retards deserved each other, it's these two professional victims.
Yeah.
And I really hope that it blows up so big that somebody makes an internet documentary on it called When Professional Victims Collide. Because for those who don't remember, Brianna Wu is one of the big names from Gamergate. Before he decided he was a woman, I forget his name, but before he decides he's a woman, he is just a loser nobody, like so many of them, but then throws on a dress and gets to stand up for the women who are humping reviewers for good game reviews.
I mean, realistically, they should have called it cockfight.
You're not wrong. That would be a great thing to call it. Brianna then goes on to claim that she was repeatedly threatened, had her life threatened, which the FBI looked into and could find no evidence of whatsoever.
Oh, that doesn't make it true. It just makes them a bunch of Nazis.
She then runs for Congress, where she tells us that she thinks we need to get some kind of security on the moon, because people could go up to the moon and throw a rock at the Earth and cause great damage.
Space rock invasion.
Forget the Jewish space lasers. Be careful. We know the Chinese are going up there. You think they're going to throw rocks at Earth to try to take us out?
Oh, you take that, Earth!
Do you think Brianna Wu has any idea how far the Earth is from the moon?
No, I don't. No.
It takes days to get to the moon.
Nah. It's fine. We'll get there in an hour.
At rocket speeds.
I know a shortcut. It's cool.
Dangerous, thank you. Maybe somebody really likes NBA press conferences. It could be. It could be. I don't even watch most NFL post-game press conferences because they're boring as shit. What do you think when you caught that pass? What went through your mind at that moment?
I got the ball. I got the ball. I got the ball. That's what went through my mind, you retards.
This is your job to ask me shit like that?
Yeah, that's the best you can come up with. They always ask the same fucking 5 questions. Like, how do you feel about today's game?
Yeah.
What could you have done differently? What'd you think when you got the ball? What'd you think when you didn't get the ball?
Is it really hard to take this loss? Like, no, I mean, I was jacking off just before I came in here. I was so happy we fucking lost.
I often look at the scoreboard and touch myself.
This is a developing story. Kentucky woman lost her goddamn mind. And I have a theory on it. I have a theory. They're not releasing the motive yet, but a Kentucky woman goes on a shooting rampage. She kills her husband and her sister before dying in a shootout with her brother.
How was the reunion?
Where? I just want a picture of her. I don't want the whole story up on the screen. Is this her? Yeah, there we go. All right. Wait, I want to make sure this isn't the sister. I don't want to misattribute. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. Her name is Angela Gosser. And she she goes to her brother's house and gets in a shootout with him where she ends up killed and he is in critical condition, having been hit several times himself. Stubber, thank you. Oh, update the Helldivers 2 controversy. Apparently, Sony pulled a sneaky trick and won't sell the games in those countries. And there's a link there. Thank you. I'll have to check that out. The Helldivers controversy, I mean, Sony just had to... Jack, they were telling people that if you bought it on Steam, you had to get a PSN account, a PlayStation Network account.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people who have Steam accounts, if for whatever reason, can't get PSN accounts, say they've been banned from there.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people have been banned from PSN because of a little dictatorial.
And this wasn't something that was said during when you bought the game. There was no, you have to do this.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of people got really pissed off about it. And Sony reverted. I'm not sure.
Realized they could be sued for deceptive practices.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the not selling in some countries. I'll have to check that one out, though. Anyway, back to our crazy lady on the screen here. So the police show up and they take her dead ass away and they get the brother going. And then somebody's like, we need a welfare check on her sister because nobody's heard from her for a few days. And the police go to her house and find her in her car, shot in the head from the passenger window, dead. Then they go to this lady's house, to Angela's house, and they find her husband had recently been shot, presumably by the same gun, when he was up in a tree pruning it. So here's my theory, Jack.
Never do yard work?
Well, there is that too.
Oh.
But I think husband was banging the sister, and everybody but Angela here knew, so she was taking it out on everyone.
Even if they weren't, she may have just suspected they were, and he kept saying, "No, shut up, you're stupid." And then she snapped and killed him anyway, thinking she was right.
Yeah, she shot 3 people, killed 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the police said that they're not releasing the motive yet. I don't know why. Maybe they suspect the brother has done something wrong too. But if I have to guess, and we do, I'm thinking homie was banging her sister.
Probably.
And I kind of wanted to see the sister and see if she was bangable, but none of the articles I saw showed her.
It's because she's probably not.
You don't know that. She's pretty as hell. Not anymore, but was.
Nah, she was probably fat and ugly like this one.
How dare you? You know what? Maybe she was, and maybe he was just like, she'll do the butt stuff my wife won't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
But can you imagine being those police? You show up at this shooting, and then you find out, wait, she killed her sister and her husband too?
Yeah, that just when you think the paperwork is done. I was watching an episode of the First 48 where they deal with the murders and stuff. Oh, these guys were getting ready to leave the crime scene, and the one guy's like, "All right, hey, there's a door over here. Did anybody check this?" There's like some stuff in front of it, so they kind of move it out of the way, and it's stuck. There's another dead body in there, and they'd been there for like 6 hours, and you could just see their faces go, "Fuck."
Totally because of the dead body, not because of the paperwork.
Sure. We'll go with that story.
Okay. And the other one that got me into arguments with retards today, Jack, Missouri has cut off Medicaid funds from Planned Parenthood. Da, da, da. It hasn't exactly. I mean, it is now, but it's expected to all be signed and passed. And basically, they're saying that Planned Parenthood can't have any of the Medicaid money. Because they use it for abortions. Now, here's the twist, Jack. They don't actually do abortions in Missouri anymore. After Dobbs, they were like, we can't do them here anymore because reasons. And these draconian laws are we can't do it. What they do still is provide you with what's the word I'm looking for? access to abortion.
Oh, yeah.
They'll tell you where to go to get your abortion, including to neighboring states of Illinois and I forgot the other one. Evolved Potato, thank you. Basically, Sony stopped selling Helldivers in countries that don't have PSN available. And because of that, the people in those countries that already bought the game can't play it anymore. Oh, wow. How does that go with them saying that you don't have to have the PSN anymore? I'm curious. I'll have to look into it. Anyhow, so Planned Parenthood still gets around it, but everybody keeps telling me, do you realize that these people, what they do is they do breast exams and pre and postnatal care, and they're the most used clinic for women's reproductive health. All right. Then why is abortion such a big issue for you? If Planned Parenthood wasn't about abortion and what they actually cared about was all of this other shit, don't you think that it would make sense that you care about people this much that you go, okay, this one little thing over here that we don't even really care that much about, we're going to stop doing that so we can provide all this other care. I just hate this notion that it's not about abortion. I don't understand why these people have to lie constantly. If you believe in this shit so much, why do you have to lie about it constantly?
Because they really hate black people, because that's who gets the most abortions.
Well, they're mostly liberals, so of course they do.
Yeah, and Margaret Sanger was a big eugenicist.
These clinics are there for abortion. There's a reason they get mad anytime abortion is limited. When's the last time you saw them get mad over fucking mammograms? When's the last time you saw them get mad over anything other than being able to abort a baby? Just be honest about what they are. And no, my public funds should not go to that shit. Thank you, Frosted. The other day, Community Rolls on X pointed out an anti-Biden post was a Russian bot. David Hogg wanted to praise whoever caught it by putting up a pic of Jack Ryan in Red October. David Hogg praised someone by comparing them to Alec Bang Oops Baldwin. But what you said is funny. What does Jack Ryan have to do with that? Even if it had been a Harrison Ford role in that case, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Jack Ryan wasn't a Russian bot, and he didn't catch a Russian bot. David Hogg's a retard is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, he really is. He's not a smart boy.
It doesn't even make sense. And in doing so, yeah, he praised somebody who shot a woman to death. Mr. Anti-Gun there. I don't even know how to process all of that.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
Thank you, Keldrig. These people always lean back on Planned Parenthood's other services as if there aren't other places that can provide those. Well, they also try telling you that, hey, it's the Hyde Amendment says that federal money, which Medicaid is, can't go to abortion services. And they say this, that money isn't even going to abortions.
How would you know?
All right. Let's say that they have enough money to hire a doctor, right? But then they get government money that allows them to hire 2 doctors, both of whom can do all this stuff, Jack. You were just able to double what you were able to do, even if both of them only do mammograms, with the government money, freeing up the other money that you have to pay for an abortion doctor. You don't have to choose anymore whether you're getting an abortion doctor or just an OB. You know what I mean? Before, you'd have to split the money that you do have. And now you're like, no. This is just abortion money. So it can go to Gina, the baby killer over here. It's money that they didn't have. You can't separate that shit. you're freeing up other money that way. This is what we've seen with campaigns and all kinds of nonsense where they try pulling it. That money didn't even go to that. It freed up other money for you to use, right, Dick? No, we totally stopped all abortions because you can't do that. I just don't understand why they have to lie. I mean, I know why they do there because it's literally illegal. But why not just be honest about it?
Oh, they can't.
We're not even talking about Planned Parenthood. We're talking about the people who are arguing on their behalf. They can't even be honest about it. I just don't get it. I don't have to lie about things I believe in, Jack.
Well, it's because you're not a rhino.
Ann Coulter told Ramaswamy she wouldn't have voted for him because he's Indian.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw him on. I saw the clip of Steven Crowder and him talking about it.
Her argument, because I did watch most of the full clip or the full stream. You can find it here on YouTube. He's got, what the hell's it called? Is it Truth Podcast? I think is what it is. But look up Truth Podcast Ramaswamy, because if you just look up Truth Podcast, it gives you a whole bunch of other weird shit. But Truth Podcast Ramaswamy, and you can watch the whole thing. And her argument is basically that if you haven't been here for several generations, then you don't have American values, which is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
For two reasons. One, that's not even true. But two, you could be here for 8 generations and not have American values. Why do you draw the line? It's somebody, she literally says, I agreed with you more than any of the other candidates, but I wouldn't vote for you because you're Indian.
He then scalped her and ran.
So you would vote for Biden over Ramaswamy because Biden's people have been here longer?
America.
Ann Coulter's a retard.
I'm pretty sure she's getting weird in her old age, like crazier. And it's because she's childless.
I think that she is just the kind of person, she's Pearl before Pearl was Pearl.
That's a lot of horrifying things to say right there.
She goes out there and says outrageous things she knows is going to get her on TV.
Yeah.
And whether she believes them or not, who knows?
Hey, she's trying to sell books too.
True, yeah. And I don't begrudge her that. I just take that into account anytime I hear her say literally anything.
Yeah, well, as you should.
Pictured author of this community note. The original's gone. Frosted sent me the thing that David Hogg had tweeted out. And what was the community note again? That it was a Russian bot. I think I get what he was going for there. Except for, I mean, Jack Ryan in The Hunt for Red October wasn't trying to find the secret Russian. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
David Hogg's an idiot. Don't try and think about his reasoning because you're just going to hurt yourself.
It made it worse looking into it. Damn it.
Of course it did. I mean, because you're trying to find some kind of logic there, and he's the type of person that thinks that foreigners could give money to political campaigns in the U.S.
Vivek's got more American values than any other candidate. He's the embodiment of the American dream. Y'all know how I feel about Vivek, man. His talking points, I'm on his side.
I like Vivek. I really hope he's VP.
I don't think he will be, especially if he's starting up a podcast right now and everything. I think he's probably talked to Trump, and that's not happening. which is a damn shame because we're going to end up with somebody like Tim Scott instead. And I don't hate Tim Scott, but I really don't want the vice president high for 4 years.
No.
Frosted said, I want to have.
Scott, but I'm sorry.
No. Frosted said, I want to have Vivek's baby. Me first.
Well, that's disturbing.
Me and Frosted, we're gonna go have a threesome with Vivek. I don't want to sign up for your newsletter. Fuck God. Why does everybody have newsletters now?
Because they can.
Who the fuck pays that much attention to their email to sign up for a fucking newsletter?
I don't know. I mean, that's very I don't know, 1998.
Let me just help y'all out here. If you email me, my email is monkey@therantingmonkey.com. If you email me, there is a better than even chance that I won't even know it happened. There's a good chance that 2 years from now, it'll get deleted in a mass deletion of emails I never read.
Yep. Do the same thing. If you emailed me, then there's a 99.9% chance it will never be looked at, ever. I have something like 75,000 unread messages in my inbox right now. And I think it just stopped telling me beyond that because I'm pretty sure there's more than that. But I just go through and delete them by the 100 now. I don't even read them because there's nothing important in there.
Yeah. I occasionally, I do pay attention to any that have to do with accounts that I pay attention to. But there's very few of those.
Yeah, I have a totally different email for that.
Oh, for the record, that email that I use, that is a mask email. My actual email, I'm not afraid of giving that one out either. It's out there, but that is the one that is used for official stuff. So if stuff comes in for Monkey instead of for the other account, I tend to not even pay attention to it. But anyway, Capitol Hill businesses ask for city's help with security costs and cleaning up the area. Fuck you.
Guess where this is?
I saw the first line of the Seattle. A coalition of Seattle business owners is asking the city to address public safety issues in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, including rampant vandalism and public drug use. Do you remember the Capitol Hill area before CHAZ?
Yeah. Well,
it was a nice neighborhood. They hadn't had a murder in like 3 or 4 years in a major public city.
Yeah, it was. Well, they had a police station right there.
Yep.
And then they abandoned it because the hippie kids came in and were like, "We hate the cops, man." Yeah. And then they let all the homeless degenerates move in, and now it's a fucking cesspool of crime and drug use.
In a letter sent to the Seattle mayor's office, the Capitol Hill Business Alliance said the conditions of the neighborhood is a deterrent to visitors. What? You don't think people want to come in and see all that shit?
It's amazing. It's amazing that would happen. What's the phrase that covers this? You get what you fucking deserve. Oh, maybe that's a bit harsh. I don't know.
Yeah, the only place that shit belongs is on a subway in the movie Beat Street, okay? Graffiti doesn't look good. People don't want to spend time in unclean neighborhoods. Consistent investing in cleanup, environmental lighting, and activation of vacant buildings will underscore the neighborhood's reputation as a retail and community hotspot. Oh, if only hindsight wasn't 2020.
Yeah, if only you had defunded the police, not supported them, and then chased them out of the neighborhood and let a bunch of filthy hobos in, and now you can't get rid of them. Whose fault is that? Maybe you should have done something then.
John Milazzo, the co-owner of Retrofit Home on Pike Street, is one of the business owners who signed on. There's a quote from him. In the last 5 years, we've gone from a little bit of riffraff, a little bit of theft, to massive theft, people on drugs, people being violent, people yelling at us all day long. Our staff is scared, he told the news. It's not for us, the small business owners, to take on and try to fix ourselves, she said. Wasn't. Where did we get a she?
Who was supporting the CHAZ people? Oh yeah, the business owners down there.
Why is John a she?
Dude, it's Seattle. Do you really need to ask that question?
Yes, because it has broken me. You know I'm bad at reading out loud, so I thought I fucking screwed something up, but I had to scroll back up and make sure I was talking about a dude.
Yeah,
John.
I couldn't tell if that was a typo or not, but I just ran with it because everybody's a fucking weirdo these days.
You're right. Milazzo and others expressed their lack of confidence in the ability of the police to respond quickly.
Wait till you hear what the cops said.
When there are issues, even though the Seattle Police East Precinct is located in the neighborhood. Business owners and the community members on Capitol Hill feel estranged from their local police precincts.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why the cops might have a little bit of resentment for you.
From their local police precinct due to a lack of consistent presence and outreach. Calls to 911 often result in long wait times, which I'm guessing she means for the cops to come out, not actually the wait time on 911.
Yeah,
okay. Which means people are often left to respond to timely issues, such as an individual sleeping outside a storefront in the morning on their own, the letter says.
Yeah, because that's such a police emergency, is you got a bum on your front stoop. Sorry, that's not exactly high crime.
The group is requesting a mobile police precinct to be stationed at East Pike and Broadway, increasing bike controls at Cal Anderson Park, and staffing the reception desk at the East Precinct.
Maybe
I'm
if
sorry.
they hadn't cut their budget.
If you guys do not understand why I keep laughing every time the words East Precinct come up, that is the precinct that the city abandoned and let the, I'm using air quotes, protesters take over, burn down, and rob.
Yep.
Increasing officers to the area is unlikely due to the ongoing police staffing crisis at Seattle Police. The agency currently has the lowest staffing in more than 3 decades. Again, remember, Seattle is one of the places that had to cut off police from retiring because police were so tired of being treated like shit there that they all went, fuck it, I can get my retirement. I'm done.
Yeah.
And it lowered their staffing levels to dangerous levels, honestly.
Yeah, the response time went up to like 12 minutes on average.
Yep.
And they ended up with from like what was it, 1 homicide in 3 or 4 years to like 4 in 1 year
in 4 months.
Yeah, because of CHAZ. All the deaths were in and around CHAZ, which, by the way, was right next to Cal Anderson Park.
And we still don't know what happened to that kid who got shot. Remember, in the final murder there, the one guy was killed, but his brother was in the car and got shot also, and they never told us what happened to him.
No, I looked it up one time. I think the brother did live, but the other one died, obviously.
All right, so the police are unlikely, blah, blah, blah. The police department said, hire your own security. We're just not able to take your calls, said Russell Norman, who owns one of the corner buildings. Get some of that community policing y'all were talking about.
Yeah, that's what they said too. It's like, well, you guys wanted your own autonomous zone. Maybe you should hire your own security. We just can't be bothered with your derelict hobos wandering around on your stoop all day because you decided to do that. That's all on you, you fucking douchebags.
I'm just reading the side. It just popped up, but it said, Seattle man accused of shooting his 9-month-old has 14 felonies.
I'm shocked.
Anybody know where gross crotch is these days? Anyway, the cost of private security is prohibitive for many small business owners. If only you guys didn't defund the police.
Yeah. It invited all the homeless degenerates over.
The CHBA is asking the city of Seattle to explore grant funding to help pay for security costs for businesses in the neighborhood. No. Okay. So they defund the police, and now they're asking the city to fund a private police.
Yes, the irony abounds, doesn't it?
Oh my God. I love you so much for sharing this article.
I know. I figured this would lighten your day up.
While the city works hard to recruit and retain its next generation of SPD officers, businesses struggle to respond to security concerns on their own. Additional investments in security infrastructure would equip businesses with the tools to deter some of the issues they experience on a constant basis. The letter states. Fuck off.
Again, they did this to themselves.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any of your fucking whining. You did this. You were the ones who were providing food and other nonsense to these retards during the whole CHAZ thing.
Yep. You supported their behavior. You said, fuck the cops, and this is what you get.
You supported the politicians who were doing it. Get fucked. I don't care. I really don't. I don't understand why you are this dumb. We should get rid of the police. Holy shit, with no police, there's crime everywhere.
That's weird. Not everybody wants to live in our commune under our hippie stupid rules. Some people are just psychotic anarchists that want to burn it all to the ground. It's weird. It's like, this has happened before in many places. People are dumb.
Okay, we really haven't talked about this, but I did see AP talking about this the other night, the hunger strikes.
Me and AP watch a lot of the same stuff, I think. He just gets to it before we do.
Yeah.
Real quick, though. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Okay, here's the very best way to get rid of a homeless thing sleeping in front of your store. Get some ice water and start pouring. It works better if it's in winter. Works wonders here, but it's also never snowed here, so results may vary. Unfortunately, it's probably illegal here, but yeah, that would absolutely be an effective way.
I have no sympathy for any of these douchebags who encourage this shit and keep voting for these same politicians. Fuck you. I'm sorry that your business is having issues, but when you vote against your own self-interest, they pull that line, voting against your interest, when they go, black people voting for Republicans. You guys, you're business owners who are literally voting for the people who say we shouldn't have police.
Yeah.
That's literally against your interest. These are the people, and you're like, we don't have security now. Well, ain't that a bitch? Welcome to the consequences of your actions.
But I don't want there to be consequences. I just want everything to be magical hippie land, just like Imagine from John Lennon, because that's how it's all supposed to work, man.
September 23rd, 2023, Gage gross crotch injured in hit and run accident. Yeah, he doesn't. About that. Yeah, he doesn't go by a Gage anymore. I forget what that little piece of shit goes by these days, but he was up at a protest where Kyle Rittenhouse was speaking somewhere.
Yeah,
and people were like, look, gross crotch, he's such a brave individual. He's kind of a douchebag.
Fuck that guy. He's a piece of garbage, just like the others.
Tailfin says, worst song ever. Yeah, Imagine is one of the worst songs ever. And if you're talking about sheerly on the reputation that the song has, it is probably the most overrated song in history.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Remember when the celebrities were singing it during the pandemic? Like that was going to do something for us. Like, oh, we're gonna sing Imagine for shut up, you overpaid hack. Get out there and dance for my amusement. Shush.
That song is hippie nihilism, and that's all it is, and it's stupid as shit.
Yeah. You can tell somebody was on a lot of drugs when they wrote that, because it's full of like idealistic nonsense that can't work in real life. Imagine, man, shut up, hippie, get a job.
Imagine a world where there's nothing to kill or die for. I get it.
Ironic.
I've seen his wife.
Right.
But I would absolutely kill for my children. I don't want to imagine a world without them. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. It's delusional nonsense.
Yeah. It's hippie stupidity. Anyway. But anyway, what we were talking about with the video that I brought up on the screen is there been hunger strikes? Oh God!
I've been wanting to watch this video with you for a couple days now, and I'm like, oh, I got to get his take on the hunger strikes.
Yeah.
Us as strikers, we will continue to starve until they meet our demands.
Fuck it, starve. I don't care.
Well, when you get a close up of these people, like you got a couple weeks, you're good.
You got a couple of years for some of these people.
In addition, I would like to note that the administration is also lying to the media. To the media, they have announced that they have been consistently sending their own doctors to come to our area and monitor us hunger strikers and monitor our health. This is a lie.
I don't know if it's a lie or not, but it's not their job to monitor your dumbass eating.
Right. I dropped the link in the YouTube chat. Unfortunately, for some reason, the Rumble chat vanished on me, so I can't see what you guys are saying.
Yeah, my Rumble chat seems to have died, so I'm wondering if Rumble died out too.
No, I just refreshed it. It's still going over there. It's just, it's just looking like a regular video for some reason.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's telling me chat's not available. All right. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Rumble. That it worked shows I did it right.
Uh-huh.
But anyway.
They are not monitoring our health. They are not keeping track of our vitals.
They said they sent in doctors to do it. They didn't say they were doing it constantly, from your own words. Again, I haven't seen the university statement on this, so I have no fucking idea.
I haven't seen their statement either, but I suspect it's sort of like, yep, they're still bitching like toddlers, so they're fine.
Saying we're monitoring their health could also just mean, hey, we're looking and that none of them have passed out yet.
I don't hear anybody screaming for an ambulance, so they're fine.
They are not at all taking care of us in any regard.
Why would they? You're out there causing a problem.
It's not their fucking job to take care of you.
No, they're not your mommy and daddy. Just suck it, bitch. The entitlement, it just drips from these spoiled little children. They have never known any kind of suffering or consequence ever. And so they feel entitled to have doctors on standby for their dumb little hunger strike. Gandhi didn't have like the British coming in and checking his pulse every 10 minutes.
But see, this is it literally is for these people the equivalent of holding their breath.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I guarantee you, if they refused to eat as a child, their parents gave them something else.
Yep. Then I went that. Yeah.
Where my mom was like, you will eat it or starve. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, eventually you'll get hungry enough to eat what you're given. So get on it.
They have only sent a spokesperson from UHS twice to give us informational pamphlets, but they are not at all taking care of us in any regard, and I want to make that very clear.
I support them in not taking care of you.
I just thought of something that 4chan could be doing right now.
What's that?
Having some people pose as the health workers and walk in with little pamphlets. So you're on a hunger strike.
Yes.
And have a bunch of nonsense in there, like a wiki how.
Frosted, thank you. They still need seatbelt extenders. They're fine, indeed.
Exactly. It could be 2 or 3 weeks before these clowns actually need an oversight of some kind. Yeah, old Irish saying, hunger is the best sauce. Exactly, Mike. Because the Irish know hunger.
That they are not caring for us. That they do not care for us. And they are lying. Us as strikers.
I don't care for you either. Just want to make that as crystal clear as possible. Do you have the video of the fat chick in the gray shirt? You'd know which one I'm talking about. On the hunger strike?
I have it. I don't know if I gave that one to you. No, I didn't give you that one because I had like 10 of these things. But I will find it for you if you want.
Yeah, let's see if we can find that. And oh God. Oh no.
Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. I wonder if they pause their hunger strike every morning in the middle of the day and at night and around breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like Wes pointed out in chat there was one that they were doing it in shifts, so they just weren't eating for like 6 hours.
Yeah. All right, our next group of retards who are hunger striking. Goodness. Sweetie, if you wore pants that fit, your ass wouldn't look like that. It's not supposed to be that long.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Oh my God. All right.
It has been almost 105 hours since our hunger strike has begun. It has been almost 105 hours since we've had any sort of food.
I don't
105
believe
hours.
you.
Nobody believes you. Nobody.
105 hours. What? That's 5 days? Day 4.5?
Oh, yeah, roughly 24 hours. Yeah, 4 days, a little over 4 days.
All right. I don't believe Americans would go that long without crying about being hungry.
No, you would start having hunger pangs by then because you're so used to eating. And some of you, from the look of it, eat a lot too. So, also that link is the last one.
The hunger strikes were brutal in Belfast. Never go there. Stop it. It's not very nice. All this is telling me is you guys eat way too much normally.
Yeah.
3 days without food should have you feeling like shit.
Yeah, you should look a lot worse for wear. The dude that we're gonna see there, he's a Muslim supposedly.
Of course he is. The gay one there in the middle,
the redhead he looks like a guy who used to work with the GameStop. Like suspiciously.
4.5 times 24 is 108. Hey, look, I was almost dead on. Because they said 105 or 109?
105.
See? I can do math.
I'm going to give a really short speech, which I hope will tug at some of your guys' heartstrings, but please hear me out here. So yes, it has been almost 105 hours since we began our hunger strike, but today is also my birthday.
And that's really the important part there, is it's her birthday.
Jesus Christ, these people are so self-involved.
Oh, it's all about them. Like, take your index finger, point it up at the sky by itself, and take your other index finger and go around it. All right, and that your first index finger that's pointing up, that's them. The other one's the world because it's going around them.
Look, I am
the world.
I'm self-centered, Jack. I'm very egotistical. I love myself, my birthday, and that's well documented. But these people are supposedly doing this because of dying children. And this bitch had the nerve to bring up her birthday as part of that conversation.
Well, look, I understand a good shill. And that is a great time to shill. Like, share, subscribe, give us money if you can. They were shilling. It's only fair.
That's true. Hey, I had no problem with that. And yeah, give us money. We like money.
Yeah, we're poor.
and capitalists. So give us money.
Yeah, and these people are filthy hippies, and we're better than them.
I'm sorry. Are they chaining their megaphones here?
Yes, it's a daisy chain of megaphones because in their minds that makes it louder.
Jesus Christ.
I know very few people have been talking about that. I'm like, why are they doing? Oh, they think it makes it louder. Oh, they're adorable. They're adorable in their stupidity.
No, I totally didn't do that for you guys to do this. Oh
me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Fuck those little kids all blowing up. Give me presents. Ugh.
Oh, I've seen that little. Okay, I had this guy here. I recognize his face now. He's the one from the much closer video where he's got like a blanket or something wrapped around him.
Yes. I threw that video in the chat too.
Okay.
To it.
I just want to say, today I'm spending my birthday here, starving in solidarity with our siblings in Gaza that are being forcibly starved by.
How come all the kids we see out of Gaza, none of them look like? Remember the ones that was thanking all of the colleges? Did any of those kids look like they were starving?
No.
With our siblings
who are starving in Gaza because of the evil Jews. Shut up.
Why is she pointing the megaphone up?
So the sound goes up and out. See, it's like archery. When you shoot an arrow, you shoot it up, and then it comes down.
It doesn't fall back down.
Yes, it arches over like an invisible umbrella, monkey. That's how megaphones work. They're not directional at all. Somewhere there's a bird that's like, what the shit is going on? Why are these people yelling at me?
These are college students.
Yeah, who don't know how megaphones work. Or acoustics at all, for that matter, because they're daisy chaining megaphones.
All right. I guess.
Bongos really add to it.
Oh, yeah.
To note that today marks exactly 7 months since the genocidal campaign against Gazans has begun.
Yeah.
Did this come out on the 7th?
Might have. I didn't check the date. I've had this sitting on the thing for a few days, so.
right.
Let's see when this.
Since the genocidal campaign against the Gazans started.
Yeah, it was posted on the 8th, so 7th, 8th, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, even then she's just wrong about that because the Israeli response started on the 7th. All right.
Do these people strike you as understanding that from what we've just seen of megaphones?
No. Can we also point out that the megaphone, the audience is clearly us. That's where the crowd is that they're trying to get their message to.
Yes.
The first megaphone is pointed to the left, and the second one is pointed up.
Yep.
For those of you who don't understand how sound works, sound goes out straight, and a megaphone makes it louder and has that cone there, but it still goes in that direction. Whatever way the megaphone is facing is the way the sound is going.
Yes, it's not omnidirectional. it is a focused, direct in front of it kind of situation here. Situation type deal, as Amberlyn Reed would say. Why
would you daisy chain? I don't understand this at all.
Because They're that dumb, dude. These people are not smart.
It would make more sense to have both of the megaphones pointed at her face or up to her face with her talking, and both of them pointing at the crowd if you're trying to amplify it.
Yes, but they're dumb. So they think they're smart. These people all think they're geniuses.
Utilized that event to distract from the fact that they were enhancing the indiscriminate bombing campaign that is currently going on in Rafah.
The Israelis used the Met Gala. What?
I didn't watch the Met Gala, but that sounds like a bunch of made up nonsense.
Them damn Jews, they're diabolical, man.
Well, you know, something to do.
They started the Met Gala way back whenever it started, just so on May 8th of this year, apparently, they could distract from their bombing campaign.
Yeah, see, Monkey, what a few people understand is they were scrying, so that they were using their Jew wizardry to look into the future. And that's how they knew. They knew 1,000 years ago that they would have to create a party to distract from a bombing campaign.
All right, we're gonna have to get to the rest of these videos another time. I've started yawning and can't stop. We'll finish with this idiot, but
real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. You know for a fact that 6 hours in, the bigger students started seeing their fellow protesters as roast chickens. Yes. Again, 2 days before, a list of their needed supplies include extra large meat thermometer. Yes, like the cartoons, they start salivating at their friends.
Right. Does anybody not know that the Jews are bombing Gaza?
I don't know, but they did just cheer for it by saying, yay.
They did. The Israelis are going to continue to do this. And they all went, yay. They're fucking retarded, man.
I'm telling you.
Maybe they couldn't hear properly because this is pointed to the sky. They've done it with the Met Gala, the Oscars, and the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Okay. And again, they're cheering for it.
Thank you, Keldrick. This is gayer than the Krastenstein brothers.
True. What about the ones who don't live in Gaza? She does know that there's Gazans who, like, you know, gone overseas and stuff, right? Like, Jack, I'm an American. If I went over to Europe and then America got bombed, I couldn't be like, man, I can't celebrate my birthday without bombing because I'm not in the place being bombed. But I digress. She's not a smart woman.
None of these people are.
And they're cheering for people not getting to celebrate their birthdays in peace. Look here, you little shits. If you want to starve yourselves, I really don't give a fuck. I don't. I just don't want to hear you whining about, oh my God, I'm starving myself and nobody cares. Because you know what? I don't care. Oh, that's them. Blanket Boy. Where's Fat Girl? I want her. There we go. We'll bring her up. We'll finish on her.
Ew.
As so many guys clearly have. Oh, this is just a picture of it.
Oh, it's not the video? Oh, shit.
No, if you click on it, it just floats up the picture.
My bad. Hold on.
That's a funny joke to do to people. Send them a picture with the little arrow in it, and they all click on it, can't figure out why it won't work.
Oh, yeah. I just gave you the wrong link.
While you're finding the right link, we're going to bring her up on the screen so I can bitch about something. As a child, I loved Oscar the Grouch. And I had an Oscar the Grouch doll that was dressed just like this, except for the hat. And it really bothers me that she's taken Oscar the Grouch's look.
Yeah, she's appropriating homeless culture.
This is bullshit. He had on those same overalls, man. Why is she stealing Oscar's thing?
Because she can.
All right. There we go. All right. We'll share this tab instead. We'll blow that up so we can actually see it. I'll bring everything else on the screen I'm supposed to have up. All right, Chunky Monkey. Hunger strike for Palestine.
She looks like she's into model trains.
She does. I'm sure she's been in a train or two.
Inviting any people of conscience in the Princeton community, students, faculty, alumni, to participate with the striking students in a solidarity fast.
I like that now it's a fast. No, that says hunger strike. There's a difference between fasting and a hunger strike.
Yes, but they're going to appropriate them both for their I'm not getting McDonald's for 4 hours. To them, that probably is a hunger strike.
This is a Princeton student.
Yeah, well, it just shows how quality of education's gone downhill. Can you get that thing any louder, or is that as loud as it goes?
That's as loud as it goes. Oh, wait, no, it can go up a little bit.
In just the last few hours, we have had commitments from
That's it, though.
In a solidarity fast. In just the last few hours, we have had commitments from at least 6 people from Princeton Theological Seminary to participate in this solidarity fast, with more coming in by the hour. At the seminary, we've also been calling our school to disclose and divest for the last several years and want to join together with the students from the university in their hunger strike.
Okay. Go hunger strike. We want to join in solidarity with them. One, please stop using the word solidarity. You guys have just really ruined any meaning it had. Now it just means groupthink, which I guess it kind of did anyway, but it used to have some meaning, you know?
Yeah.
He stood in solidarity with the civil rights movement in the 60s. Standing in solidarity with a bunch of rich fucks in America who are pretending that they know what strife is like at all as they defend fucking terrorists. That's really not what you want to be bragging about.
It used to be. Yet here we are.
Don't worry, Chunky here. She's gonna stop eating, and she's gonna solve the world hunger problems, which I actually believe might be able to happen. If this bitch stopped eating so much, there'd be a lot more food to go around.
I'd probably be fatter because I'm probably behind her at the buffet at Golden Corral. So
almost every faith tradition in the world engages in the spiritual practice of fasting.
You're not talking about fasting, though. Okay. Fasting generally has an end. A planned end. It's not extortion. I'm going to hold my breath. And it is done for various different reasons, Jack. But it's always, I'm going to stop eating from here until this. And it's not, until I get my way. That's a hunger strike, dumbass.
3 major Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, are no exception to this. Jesus himself said, of some evils in the world, they require both prayer and fasting. And we are here to live into that word.
All right, here's the thing. I don't think the Jews are going to stop, okay? They're going to by these people's definition, they're going to keep mistreating the Palestinians forever. And I really want to be on your side. And in order for me to be on your side, I need you to not eat until all of the bad stuff you think happens over there stops. All of it. And then I'll consider that maybe there's something I should reconsider. I'm not going to eat. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, neither do the Jews. Neither do the Palestinians.
Nope. Hey, they had those little girls say that they were happy to have them.
Yeah, well, of course, they're getting a bunch of accolades from terrorists, but look, this is a blood feud that's been going on for thousands of years, and we're not going to change it. Nobody gives a shit here, really. I mean, unless you have family over in one of those shitholes, nobody cares. This is just more, I want to be part of the revolution, man, by a bunch of whiny rich kids that aren't capable of understanding what starvation is.
Evolve says the Jews might stop for a while after they get the people taken hostage back. But you got to remember, they also believe that Gaza has been an open-air prison since 2006. So until that is all done too, until all of the atrocities are done, they're not allowed to eat anymore. Prove you mean it. Prove you mean it. I will laugh when you die from it. I'm not going to lie. But a bunch of spoiled-ass rich kids who are, let's be real, still eating.
Yeah.
No, I was fasting for 8 hours today. I actually saw one of them say that.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Yeah, they're doing it in shifts. They're just fasting while they're out there. Then they're going to go home and eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
So
they're
all full of crap.
I didn't eat for part of the day.
I'm surprised there aren't any of their fellow students, like, kind of stalking them home, like watching DoorDash show up at their house.
I just love that part of it is that the administrators won't bring them food out there in Princeton or in UCLA. And here in Princeton, it's like, we're not going to eat. I just wish they'd all make up their mind about which way they're going.
They won't check our health.
Monks have been setting themselves on fire for a long, long time. It wasn't just during Vietnam. This is something they've done for a while, Jack.
Yeah, it's dumb then too.
I fully support these people embracing that form of protest.
Oh, they never embrace the type that makes me laugh for some reason.
By the way, it is absolutely asinine to set yourself on fire. Just saying.
Yeah, but it does make me laugh for some reason.
Evolved says 8 hours without eating. I do that daily. Most people do. We call it sleep.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up there because Monkey's falling asleep. I'm so sorry, guys. My sleep has been so shit lately, Jack. Twice in the last 5 days, I've slept for 10 hours. And then the rest of the time, I just can't fucking sleep. I'm on a sleep strike for Palestine.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I sleep when I can. I'm on a sleep strike for Palestine. Fuck Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. We'll try to get to the rest of the because the guy is actually a much better video than Oscar the Grouch was.
Yeah, well, he's an idiot too, so
I just like putting her fat ass on the screens, and this chick's trying to convince you that she's on a hunger strike.
Yeah, she's only going to eat 3,000 calories today.
Yeah. So we'll try to catch more of those tomorrow. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Jack, anything else, Shill?
I'll drop some links. As always, thanks, guys, for all the support you give us. As always, you are the best audience on the internet, and we will fight anyone that says otherwise. Well, at least online. We're not going to actually go anywhere because, let's face it, we're lazy. But thanks so much for the support and all the views and everything you guys do for us. We really do appreciate it.
I'm on a fight strike right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not fighting anybody for Palestine.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a pacifist, not because I'm lazy, but because there's too much violence in the world.
With that, guys, thanks for joining us, Jack. A pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Damn it, you're supposed to talk a second longer.
No, that I found a turkey buzzard in my backyard trying to eat that dead possum I just found.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me because this giant monster bird flew out right as I got up to the porch. And I was like, what the shit is that? I thought Mothman was going to kidnap me. And here it's just a turkey vulture flying onto the roof of the garage. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to move that dead possum again. So
when I was at my
problem might take care of itself.
Was at my daughter's house last. There were turkey vultures flying around. Look, probably 3 or 4 football fields from her house, just circling the sky. I'm like, oh, something's dead over there.
Yeah, hopefully not any missing kids.
Yeah. Over here, we have some of those around, but the hawks have really been coming in lately. And these fucking things are huge.
Yeah, hawks could get pretty big. We've got some bald eagles around, so I probably should have put the trail cam up closer to the dead possum, but then I would just get the shovel and move the dead possum. So it all involved a lot of extra steps already. So I was like, fuck that. But I kind of forgot about it and it's starting to stink, so I'm going to have to move it soon. By the way, guys, this thing is literally like 10 feet from the back of my porch. It's not like I can avoid it. And I didn't see it. It had to have been there for like 3 days.
Ebony says neat. I'm not sure which one you're saying need to, but I'll tell you those hawks flying will scare you sometimes because suddenly there's this giant fucking there's a shadow that comes over you and it's like a fucking plane, but it's silent and you look up and it's one of these birds.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time. We love you. Whatever day this is, enjoy it. And bye now.
Bye, everybody.
I'm fat and going on a hunger strike. I'm gonna still eat, but clap for me. I don't want you guys to mention my birthday, so I brought it up. I really didn't do it for that. I really didn't. Shut up.